Hey guys, check this out and meet the refreshed new Audi SQ7. That's right, this is the top dog 3-row Audi. And I'm here just outside of Salt Lake City. Oh gosh, I gotta look at these bikers. Hold on, I love adventure bikers. Let's see what they look like. Let's see what they're riding. I'm going by too fast. But as much as I love this Audi, I'd much rather be on that motorcycle. But let's get to it. In this video, we're going to be talking about the SQ7. What's under the hood? What is new? What is old? And there goes one. You can just hear it now. Actually, that's the 8, sorry. That's the SQ8. But the difference between the SQ8 and SQ7, of course, is the third row. Now, this front end is all new. And get this. You can customize the headlight signature, but let me show you the turn signals because I think they're pretty darn cool. So check this out. I'm a sucker for cool headlight signatures and turn signals. Okay, that's not cool. Let me see the rear one, because the rear ones are cool. How come it's not doing it? Maybe you have to be in drive for the turn signal to work. That is really weird. Yeah, no turn signal. Or maybe the car has to be on. Let's start with that. Oh, that would do it. All right. Well, look at that. I love how those, let me show you that again. I love how those little speakers pop up and down. All right. Now I can show you the turn signals and you can listen to the exhaust when I start up, but check this out. Like I say, I'm a sucker for like the Mustang turn signals. Look at that. How cool is that? And let me take my mic off and you can hear the burble of this twin turbo V8. And unfortunately, since I'm here by myself, I can't really give it the beans because, well, that would be impossible. But I can show you what's under the hood in a second and show you how much horsepower it's putting out. Same thing with the front ones. Now you can see the front ones. And like I said, you can customize the headlight signature and some other things, which I'll show you in a second. So let's start with what's under the hood. And this hasn't changed. It's the same thing you'll find under the hood of the Lamborghini Urus, except this is a little detuned. It is a 4-liter, there it is, twin turbo V8 that produces 500 horsepower and 568 pound-foot of torque, paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and it'll do 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. How cool is that? Now this is the new front fascia, and let me show it to you this way. It does look much meaner. New 3D Audi emblem, and when you see this in your rearview mirror, you know you've got something that's pretty darn quick that is about to overtake you. Also, we're looking at pretty sticky rubber. These are 285/40 R21 Scorpion Zeros with, of course, those giant Audi S badged. There you go. Brake calipers. And if you're wondering how much this costs, I'll give you a hint. It's over $100,000. That's right, I said it. Now, in the past, when I've done Audi reviews, I was always a little disappointed with the exhaust because they were fake. Not here. That is the real exhaust. And if you're wondering how much it tows, 7,700 pounds, which is substantial. Now, this being the family hauler, you do have this kind of, I'm almost going to call them vestigial rear seats that you can fold down for a lot more room. Now, these seats are mainly for the kiddos. As you can see, there's not a lot of room behind the second row, but if you need to put a lot of stuff in the back, then this is a good place to put it. I'm going to put these back up so I can show you how much room is in the second row, and then how much room is in the third row. And of course, everything is electric. So, Audi's top dog 3-row shares a chassis and powertrain with a lot of other Volkswagen Group products, and that includes, of course, the Cayenne, the Lamborghini Urus, and then if you're comparing it to non-Volkswagen Group brands, I suppose you could compare it to a Tesla Model X Performance, X5 M. And then if you do want to go back here, you got to do that, and that took a lot of strength. And as you can see, there's not a lot of leg room. So certainly for the kiddos, you can also fold them electronically. But if you're in the second row, hard to film this and do it with one hand, then you can actually recline these, as you can see. Sorry, I got to hold the camera with one hand. And then let's look how much room I have in the back. And the answer is a lot. I mean, just a ton of room back here. Plenty of headroom, plenty of shoulder room, and of course, my favorite thing, the bespoke little privacy screens. I call them bespoke, but a lot of cars have them now, so I suppose they're not all that bespoke. But what does really impress me, and I'm a sucker for this, check this out. That's right, soft closed doors. Now before we get on the inside and take it for a ride, let me just tell you the changes. Basically, new front fascia. Like I said, it's a little bit more aggressive. A logo that kind of now sticks out some more. And of course, a full suite of driving aids that are hidden. And I like these. You can see in there little hidden intercoolers. I suspect those are the intercoolers for the dual turbos, which live in the V of the V8. How cool is that? Now, I've always liked Audis. They've always felt very tailored to me. And this certainly is the case in this SQ7. Not one, not two, but 3 screens that do a whole bunch of different things. For instance, different drive modes, off-road mode, all-road, comfort, auto, and since we're going to be doing a little bit of canyon carving, we're going to put in dynamic. You also have air suspension, which is nice because in comfort mode it makes for a very supple ride. Now, one of the new things for this year is hidden in the home button, and that is, where are you? I just saw it. Where are you? Oh, there they are. They're the themes. You can actually change the look and the feel of the interior of the car by changing the theme. And these you have to pay for, unfortunately. But look, there's all kinds of sports teams that you can choose. I don't know, what do you guys want to try? Let's try Snakebite Beach. Let's see what that looks like. The action cannot be performed. Oh wow, the theme is loading. All right, well, I guess we're loading the theme. And then you probably can't tell in the daytime, but that changes the color of the interior lighting and various other functionalities. So if you do want to kind of personalize your car, you can choose those themes. You also, of course, have a very interesting digital display that lets you do things like, well, let me scroll through this, like tell you what kind of fuel economy we're getting, 12.8, and on this drive, 20 mpg. The Monroney says you're supposed to get 17 mpg, which is not horrible for a car with 500 horsepower, and I'm not driving it that fast. But yeah, this screen is very customizable. Driver, state, estimate, fatigue, low or high. Wow, it determines how tired you are, and then of course you can change all this to your phone, to your music settings, and back to these various screens. I kind of like the consumption menu. Let's go with the one that we're currently driving. Of course, you have completely adjustable seats, and this little front cushion moves out, which I'm a big fan of. You also have chilled and heated seats, of course, and then a real volume knob, and then I think this is probably a real carbon fiber at this price point. And I'm not a big fan of this piano black. I'm also not a big fan of having the phone charger hidden. So if your passenger wants to charge the phone wirelessly, they can't use it, unless, of course, they get the cable out. Now let's take a quick look at the Monroney before we hit the road. So base price, $90,800. Ooh, that's a lot. And then if you add the Prestige package with things like the dual zone acoustic glass, the HD matrix design LED headlamps with Audi laser lights. That's right, the high beams are laser lights. The Sport package, which gives you an active roll bar, red brake calipers, sport rear differential, Bang & Olufsen luxury package, extended leather package, grand total $116,540. So yeah, this is a lot of money, especially for something that is, a kid hauler. But the question is, does it live up, move my mic here, does it live up to that performance? Try that again. Does it live up to that performance expectation that you have for the S line. Now this is the top dog. There's no RS version of this, so if you want the fastest 3-row in Audi's lineup, it would be this car. So let's give it a little bit of the beans as we go on to this road, and come along and drive with me as I accelerate. A little bit of turbo lag. Oh yeah, there we go. That is quick. I'm just about to exceed the speed limit, so I don't want to do that, which would not be good. But it certainly is lively. Just a hair of turbo lag. Nothing horrendous, but certainly enough that you notice it. Especially with electric cars now, turbo lag has become almost, let's say, non-existent in normally aspirated vehicles. But with electric cars, there is no turbo lag, so they do even feel quicker. So if you were comparing this to like the Model X Performance, then that might snap your head back a little bit more. But the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you want to scare the kiddos that much when you're commuting to school, or risk your driver's license? Now, what I love about Audi is the chassis tuning, and this car certainly is a good representation of that. When you want it to be comfortable, you put it in comfort mode, and it just smooths out the bumps and the road imperfections. And then when you want to go and carve a few canyons, you can do that, and you can do it with the ability to take 7 passengers for quite a thrill ride in the mountains. And so you can really tell that Audi has worked very diligently on making this car perform in such a manner that it's not only stable and incredibly quick in a straight line, but when the road turns curvy like it has right here, it puts a pretty big smile on your face. The steering weighting is just right. The brake articulation is very controllable. I love that. There's a cyclist here. I don't want to go too fast. As a cyclist myself, I hate when cars go blowing by me. But when you want to go and put a little bit of VS in your coffee in the morning, a little bit of lead in your pencil, then this car is certainly up for the most, at least I can throw at it. Now, would I take it on a track? Probably not. Well, the speed limit's gone down, so I better slow up. Would I take it on a track? Probably not. But could you take it on a track? Yeah, I think you could take this on a track. If you're interested in what the normal Audi Q7's like, just head over to All TFL. I did a review of that the other day, so that should be up there as well. And that one has the benefit of either a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder turbo that puts out 335 horsepower. So that is definitely not the top dog in the bunch. There's also, of course, the SQ8, which I hope to review as well. So that, if all goes well, will also be up. So we are doing the complete Audi lineup. And I want to thank Audi for flying me out here, putting me up at a great hotel just in Park City, Utah, and letting me take these cars for a drive and letting me review them. Now, before we end this review, let me just kind of show you what this beautiful scenery is like. I got to tell you, there's some of the best driving roads in the world just outside of Salt Lake City. This is kind of on the way, at least the exit for it was on the way to, I think it's Heber, Utah, and I am just amazed at how beautiful this road is, and a little bit jealous, and that's coming from somebody, who lives in Colorado, and we have very similar, whoa, that truck just dumped some bark on the road. We have very similar roads, but I think we have more people because this, except for the logging trucks, is pretty empty. Now, the last thing I will say about this car is that Audi has kind of taken a second seat to Tesla. If you recall, for a long time there during the 2000s and even the 90s, Audi was the cool kid on the block. This was the car that you would aspire to if you were a young tech bro, and by tech bro I mean Microsoft 95, because it felt very techy, it felt very modern, it felt very clean, very new and kind of fresh. Not your father's car, And then Tesla came along and kind of stole that crown, and all of the coolness of the room was sucked up by the Model 3 and eventually, of course, the different variants. Now, Audi has been working hard, I think, to regain that, but there still is a little bit of old Audi left in this. I don't want to say stodginess, but the problem is it's hard to bottle cool, and it's really hard to kind of be cool and stay cool forever. And in a way, Audi is sort of kind of trying to regain that magic that it had before, the Model 3 outsold it and BMW and Mercedes to become kind of the darling of that, let's call it mid-size sports sedan segment. And of course, all the other variants that go with it. Have they done it? I mean, is this something for $116 that you would get instead of, let's say, a Model X Performance? Probably, because the Model X is also getting long in the tooth. But now there's a whole new slew of electric cars that are coming to, for Audi and its German Autobahn pedigree from all the different manufacturers. So Audi has really got to step up the game, and I kind of feel like they're kind of halfway there with their latest models, and they're certainly fun to drive. And I think, even though, like I said, all this is starting to feel a little bit Windows 95. I know that's not fair, but a little bit old-fashioned and a little bit, overly German and overly complicated. The fact remains that the bones of this car, the engine, the suspension tuning, the brakes, the way that, the power comes out and the way that it goes around a corner for a 3-row SUV is very hard to beat with anything that's on the market right now. Well, guys, I really appreciate you spending these last 17 minutes with us and with me. And if you want to see the other Audi reviews, head on over to alltfl.com, and I will see you next time. Ciao! Must be a popular cyclist route. A lot of cyclists up here. And open range. I wonder if the crash avoidance would stop the car if I came around a blind curb and a car, well, no, let's call it a cow was in the road. Would it recognize a cow as an obstacle? Let me know in the comments below, because I think it would.